Hey y'all, so just got done with today's workout. We have a 12-minute AMRAP for intensity and technique, 6 overhead squats at 50% of a 1 rep max overhead squat, 9 barbell rollouts, 12 box jumps at a high box. So you'll see the demo video next to here so you can see me do and see what those exercises are. But basically the overhead squat, we're gonna be taking it from the ground every time, so you have a few options. The best option if you're good at doing a snatch is just to squat snatch that first rep. You can also power snatch, reset, and then squat, and you can also clean, jerk it over to your back, widen the grip, jerk it overhead to get ready for the overhead squat. 50%, it's kind of those numbers where it's light, especially in the first few rounds, but as you get more and more tired, if you're not proficient with the snatch, you may get in a little trouble there and you might have to go into that clean and jerk method. But really this weight, 50%, the first few rounds of 6 should make you think about it a little bit, but they're not that hard. But what happens is towards the end of this workout, especially after you do the box jumps, because it comes right after the box jumps on the later rounds, you start really having to battle for it, and that 50% number is right at that kind of perfect threshold amount where you can keep your technique really, really high, but it's not a cakewalk. You really have to focus in on your technique and developing those positions. Then we've got the barbell rollouts. So these are real tough exercises. I'll put variations and scaling and equipment substitutions on the description and on the workout blog, but the barbell rollouts just look like an ab wheel. Basically, you use the barbell, you just roll out as far as you can, and then you pull back in. What I like to use the rollouts for is to really teach people how much those arms and the lats are involved, especially in an exercise like the toe to bar, which we see a lot more often than the barbell rollouts. And people think of everything as abs, and we want to show you that it's the whole system. And that arch and snap is how we spike, it's how we throw things. We do this arch and snap all the time, and these barbell rollouts really help us with this whole system of closing down the arms and closing down the core to get back up. They're tough. So if you can't go all the way to the ground, go out to that threshold point. If you're watching this video and don't know what I'm talking about, once you start playing around with it, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll kind of go out to a point and you're like, oh, if I go any further, I'm gonna fall flat on my face. And then when you decide to come back, it almost doesn't happen right away, even though you're trying to. So that's that threshold point. So we're just looking at 9 reps, going to that threshold point. My arms, especially after the overhead squats, we're getting smoked, so I was kind of doing a rep, shaking it out, doing it a rep, maybe taking my hands off the bar. And those, really, it was kind of funny because they're not like hard in the sense of like it's heavy and something might go wrong, but they're really hard. I know that doesn't make any sense, but again, you'll know what I'm talking about in the middle of this workout. But I'd say that's the hardest part. It's like mentally challenging. Each rep kind of takes a while. You don't want to be on them, but you know you can do them. So I would say that's kind of the most challenging part of this workout. Then we've got high box jumps. Keep in mind we typically go with very low, medium, or high on box jumps, but most people when we say go low and very low, they're going too high. So then when we say medium or high, they're already starting out too high, and then they get out of their comfort zone so much. So you should have a very, very low, minimal fall risk on this one. We see so many people walking around the gym with scars on their shins because they smacked the box. Not always. A lot of times it's just losing focus, so you got to really stay focused on every single box jump. But a lot of times it's people using boxes that are just too high for them. So we want this to be something that makes you think about every single rep. Now I was really focusing on extending my hips all the way and then immediately snapping back into the squat position. What you can see, you'll probably see it on my first rep of the overhead squat when I'm snatching it, but you'll see it on cleans too. Keep in mind, this is the exact same stuff. So on that box jump, I'm going for full extension and then immediately snapping into the squat position. On that snatch, full extension to drive the barbell up and then immediately snapping back into that squat position to go get the barbell. So even though we've got box jumps and muscle ups and snatches and cleans and all these things, they're all the exact same thing. Barbell rollouts, these are all, that is the snap from the arch position back. It's all the same stuff over and over again, and once we start piecing it together in our head, makes us really good at this skill and every other skill instead of everything kind of individually. But on the box jumps, make sure you don't smack your hands on the box. You kind of have to keep them closer today, but you need that full hip power to get up on the box, where we can be a little lazier with it with the lower boxes. Anyway, the height you should be choosing is something that's a no-brainer. You're guaranteed to get it unbroken the whole time, but it might make you think about it a little bit more. So keep in mind, most people are going too high on the low stuff, so make sure you keep this in your wheelhouse and you're not just going higher and higher because it's higher than what you usually do. Make sure it's something you might need to take a step back and step into it. On this one, we should not be able to bound it. So let's just make sure we're choosing appropriately. Work with your coach. If you get this wrong, get it wrong too low, and just go faster in this workout. It's always the way to go. But you're going to really have to focus up on those boxes just because you're out of breath, they're high, and just one rep where you're lacking focus. You can clip that toe, and then there's the shin. So I actually don't know how many rounds I got. My guess, I think I was going like 2.5 or 3 minute rounds, 2.5 minute rounds. So that put me kind of like at 5 rounds maybe. So I don't know if I finished 4 and got a few squats on the 5th, or finished 5, got a few squats on the 6th. If you want to watch the video, you can probably figure it out there, because I'll put the whole thing up. But really, this is just about finding the appropriate weights on the overhead squat. If you haven't developed the full squat, go down to that threshold point, give it a pause, stand back up. Rollouts, find that threshold point, come back up. Box jumps, finding kind of the threshold height that can keep you moving but challenges you. So that's why this one's for intensity and technique, because we don't want you doing nasty things on any of these things. We want you finding those thresholds where you can really challenge your technique and position and go, go, go. We got 12 minutes. Make it look good. Talk to y'all soon.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.